Okay guys, I want to make a quick video. As long-winded as I am, it may not be quick, but this is the Diagun 4 that I got in October of 2018, and this is the CRP129E reader. Just got maybe a week or so ago. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one kicked on. I'm going to show maybe a comparison video between the two. The biggest thing that's going to be the difference between these is this will not talk to every module. This one pretty much will. This will get codes out of every module. It will run bidirectional tests on everything. It will run resets. It will do all sorts of different things. It can program immobilizer keys. It can do a ton of stuff. It basically is the same as my Autel 908 Professional, minus the J box, the J2534 programming box, which I don't use currently. And this one is basically, for me, a full-fledged tool like an Autel would be. Everything that the Autel will do, this one pretty much does. So I absolutely love this tool because I think I got it for around $500 or so. I think they went up a little bit since then. This tool, the interface is very similar. Matter of fact, I'll just back up, let you see that that's basically the same stuff. It does not have a quick OBD2 thing here, but as soon as you go in, it goes straight into that. You've got a ton of car lines listed here. I think more so in here than you do. Of course, a bunch of these you're never going to use. Mahindra, all that kind of stuff. Holden, I'm not going to anyway. So anyway, you can delete those if you want, actually going through the settings. So that tool is fantastic. The software in this tool is, to me, it's fantastic. It's just, for the money, you cannot beat this. This tool here has got a ton of PIDs available to you in the system, in the computers that it will talk to. So ABS, transmission, airbag, and your main PCM, ECM. So it's going to talk to 3 or 4 computers on most every car. You can play with this a lot. I've got the brightness, I think, turned up right now. This one, of course, you can play with as well. This one, the battery looks to be in pretty good battery for this. Whereas this hardware here, that was one of the big complaints that I had about this. This is obviously just a cell phone wrapped in a case with a place for your plug-in to go, right? My problem was that I always left the dongle in the car, and I was having trouble with that. Made it a little bit longer, made that a little bit more obvious. Better. I've been better about it since I did that. This one, the battery has been phenomenal. It's been really good. Of course, it charges as you run it. So I'll just show you a few of the things that this one will do with this Toyota. This is an 06 Toyota RAV4. It's in here because it was running really bad and misfiring on multiple cylinders because of bad coil packs. So I've temporarily added some different coil packs to this. We'll go ahead and go in here under Toyota. The only downfall of this tool that I can tell is the hardware. The software is good. It's good stuff. So in Toyota, you'll actually have a history function. Everything else, you do not. In this tool, you have the history function. So bring this up real quick and I'll show you what I mean. This is what I enjoy the hell out of this tool, is to be able to just quickly scroll down here, pop onto a vehicle that I was working on, and go right back in, because hey, they pulled back up, light came back on, whatever the case may be. Maybe you went and did something else and came back, and then that way you don't have to answer a bunch of questions every time. You do on this tool, unless you're going through history. I have not connected to this tool with this one today, so we'll go through the setup process, and then I'll go through the setup process here. This has an automatic, supposed to be fully automated version of that. Some people have had really great success out of that. Some people not so much. Let's see here. I will say that the software in here has successfully identified pretty much everything I've hooked it up to. So one huge difference between these tools is the health report. This one will produce one, and this one will. This one produces, and you'll see the number of modules that this will talk to is really pretty good. And this, just as a side note, when you get those customers that tell you, oh, there's nothing wrong with my car, nothing at all, then you can scroll through one of these reports and say, well, your car may beg to differ with you because there's codes in about 4 modules here, communications issues, whatever the case may be. But we've always had that customer where they just can't believe anything could be wrong with their car. So for me, I love the fact that I can just set this report up. Let's just put in, let's see, just anything here for right now. Just anything here, just so we can put something here. I generally will fill this out just so I can go back to it later. It'll have their name, it'll have the stuff. So don't put just any old thing. But this produces a nice PDF format, something that you can email to them, and it looks great. I mean, it's good. It's got a ton of information on them. So you can do a pre-scan and a post-scan and just cover your butt. That would be really good. This one produces that same kind of report, but of course less modules. There's way less modules going on. You're not going to see any of these modules on tire pressure monitor. I don't think you're going to see that. Engine control, ABS, VCS, a bunch of this stuff you're just not going to see when we go to the other one. So I like to save those. Like I say, it pretends that you can share them from here. Share them from here. I have not had success there, but I'll show you how to do that later. Might as well probably show you how to do that now. No, if I do that, I'll have to go back in. Let's look here. Let me back up one more screen. Yep. Come on. Okay, so from here, I just go right in. Normally this thing is really pretty quick. Hondas it does not like, Nissans it does not like, but generally that's because the number of possible modules it will scan for is tremendous. It will scan for probably 40 or 50 modules, and a bunch of them won't be there. Okay, so actuation test. This is the determining factor of this tool versus this tool. You're not going to find a bunch of this menu will not be there. Okay, so I mean, look at the number of possibles that you can do on this car, and not every single one will be correct, right? Not every single one of them will be something you can activate, but I would say probably 80 to 90% of them are, and that comes in really handy when I want to go in and verify the fuel pump's working. I want to go and verify that the motor for the window goes up and down like it's supposed to. This can do that. This can do a ton of that. My wife's minivan, I can turn headlights on and off. I can open doors. I can do all the stuff that the body control module can do. I can do with this tool. So let me show you. It's got some other special functions here. On some of these cars, like I'll give you an example. I worked on a Mini Cooper the other day. Ended up resetting the adaptations for the variable valve timing, or the Vanos system in that. Made that car go from barely runnable, just falling on its face, to running pretty well. Enough for the customer to be happy with where we were at the time. So let's just read some fault codes real quick. Yeah, we've got a still in misfire in cylinder 3. We can clear those. We can do all that kind of stuff. The data stream on this is going to be really good. Let's see here. This one does not give you a list of what all, and it gives you a list here, but it does not give you a PID count. As you can see, there's a whole lot of PIDs you can look at. Okay. Okay, so this is all just in the ECM itself. That right there is your main difference, your actuation test. But that is, if you're looking for a primary tool, this is the one. To me, this is fantastic. Comes with 2 years of free updates. It's a really good tool. Okay, let me back up and I'll show you. I'll connect. Tell you what, I'll go ahead and even turn on that option because I've turned it off currently. Pause this. I'll come right back once I get it set up. Okay, really easy setup on the automated function of this. You can either just turn it on or off right here. So I've got it turned back on. Let's see what happens if I plug it up now. It should automatically do that. I don't think I have to be out of this menu. So let's pulling that up. Let's see if it'll automatically identify. Yep, doing pretty good. The issue that I have out of this, that's the only thing that I don't like about that particular part of this, is that it will force you to go through the automated scan. And there's times where I've already done the automated scan. I've already looked at the car. I'm coming back to it after some time. Oh, backed up. Okay. And then because of the fact that it's forcing me to go through the automated section of that, then there's a problem because all I really wanted was some codes out of it. And now it's trying to act up on me. Okay, after a little flipping and flopping right there, ended up basically coming to the conclusion it's not going to auto-identify this one as well. So, just go back into all. This is actually the way I prefer to go through this, because to me it doesn't take that long, and the cool part, like I said, this one having the history function is quite handy there. Set this up as Toyota. Will ask me some questions. Gives you a few beeps there, of course, for basically just letting you know it's connected. Other, let's see, this is two-wheel drive. Oh, something I did wrong there. Hold on just a minute. Okay, this thing's giving me a little trouble today. North America. RAV4 2006. It's normally just click through, click through, click through. There's going to be a few questions here and there. Some that may have to go and look and verify, hey, is this two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive? Okay, so I'll do a health report on this. And you'll see the difference. This one scans, what, about 4 occupant detection and probably SRS. Yep. It will automatically bring the ones with failures. If there are some that are not, that don't have the red here, they will hang out at the bottom, so it will resort your order. So I've actually only gone in under the wrong module, just believing that I was going directly into the engine being at the top. So you see, obviously, data stream here versus my fault code. Oop, don't want to do that yet. I want to show you my data stream. This will give me a number of PIDs. See, number of PIDs here is awesome. I mean, 189 different PIDs I can pull up. Now, I've been through my car, which is also a RAV4, and found that the number of modules and things you can go through, the number of PIDs that are in each one, I would say it probably equals in 189. I would easily see that. I'm obviously not going to use all of these on a daily basis, but this one, and I'll just show you. Let's see if I can pull something up here. Just some basic stuff here. Go ahead and crank this up. It's got, I think, pretty good graphing function for this little thing. If I can get it to do it. Let's fix it. There we go. The only thing, I wish these were a little bit bigger down here on the bottom. That would be nice. We've just seen it step up over time. Another feature I've shown in my other videos, you can scrunch this to get more time on the screen. So we saw the idle flare as it cranked up. We're just going to see a diagonal as this goes up, of course. So we're seeing just the variations of that. So we can, I've already used that function a few times to show me the relationship of different pieces as I was going down the road, or as I had the AC on, in order to get me a diagnosis on something that might not have been easy to see if it was only stuck in this format. So the fact that you can get more time on the screen, quite handy. So let's see, I'm pretty sure that this graphing is still better than this, because this is formatted only, let me get it, this is formatted only to be in portrait format here. You cannot turn this sideways and make it turn to a landscape format. So you can combine things on here, you can zoom on here, but you cannot make it look like this, which is kind of sad, because that's a downfall for this machine. If you like to graph a lot, this is not going to show you as well. And these are not fantastic graphs. This is not as good as a Snap-on, or maybe an Autel might be slightly better, but certainly for the money that we're paying. This is, I think, around $230 or so without any discounts. This one, I think now, is somewhere between $500 and $600. Let's see if there's anything else I can show you. I had a longer video, which you should be able to find. See if I can show you that on, or I can put a notation on there. Oh, that's another thing. You can move this button around. I believe there's some menus within here that will not have a back button, and so they added this to that. There's not a whole lot to show on this. This is just, oh, dang it, keep hitting the wrong button. This is just a very simple menu to go into. But as I said in my other video, you're not going to be using this for hardcore diagnostics. This is going to be used to get codes out, to see if a sensor is not responding whatsoever, to see if a fan's being turned on or not by the computer. That's what this is for. If you want bidirectional controls to turn that fan on, or to run that window up, or to open the sunroof, do all of those things, then the Diagun 4 is what you want. I would go for this as my primary. If money is a concern and you're not that heavy into diagnostics to begin with, this is the one you want. This is, like I say, $230, around $600. So there's a big price difference here for sure, but there's a huge capabilities difference as well. And this doesn't illustrate all of the things that are different between the two. As far as on different makes, you're going to have different information available to you. It's going to be organized slightly different as well. So hopefully that helps some people. I know that I can just speak from experience, having this since October of last year, and it is now May. This is my go-to. This thing has fixed a ton of cars. And this is kind of, to me, was kind of interesting and different. When you send out a report from this, so you would transfer it to Bluetooth or you'd email it or whatever the case may be, this one comes out as basically a PDF. Okay, this one comes out as an email with some odd Chinese phrasing at the top in English, and then some Chinese script down at the bottom, and then it prompts them to download something. So it might be a little bit odd, so you need to be telling your customer, the owner, whoever, whatever your relationship is with them, you'd be telling them, hey, expect a kind of an odd email coming from me, so that you're not sending out something that to them would look like spam. So that really is kind of a little oddity to this, but hey, I think they're doing what they can with what they've got here, and certainly in the price range that they're at. I think that's what they're aiming for. So hopefully this is helpful to somebody. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. But I can tell you, number one pick for sure. Number two, not too far behind. All right.